Welcome everybody for tonight's webinar. So first of all, my name is Silvia Janska. I'm the SPVS president, SPVS being the Society for Practicing Veterinary Surgeons, which is the non-clinical leadership and business management subdivision association of BVA. And together with PetsApp Together Academy, we're running this webinar for you titled How to Launch a Successful Pet Health Plan. So we've got Gavin Durston and Justin Phillips joining us to deliver this webinar. And just really briefly, Gavin is a veterinary surgeon and a director of Thrums Vet in Scotland, as well as a small animal director at XLVets. And Justin is the owner of practice made Purrfect, or Purrfect.
Very good.
I got it right. Which is a marketing consultancy dedicated to helping vet practices deliver the best possible services to their clients and patients. So just before I hand over to you guys, first of all, thanks for being here. Thanks for joining us. And for all of our attendees, if you have any questions, then feel free to pop them into either the Q&A or to the chat, or just make sure you note them down so you can ask them afterwards. And with that, over to you, Justin.
Thank you very much. Thanks for the intro. Can you see my full screen slides there?
I can do, yes.
Excellent. Success. So thank you very much, guys, for joining us, giving up your time on this chilly Wednesday evening. For those of you who haven't met me, I'm Justin, and I founded Practice Made Purrfect 4 years ago. We are a marketing consultancy for vets practices, and we help practices increase the fun, freedom, and profitability by using tried and tested techniques such as pet health plans, boosting recruitment, and doing more things digitally. And Gavin and I have worked together for the last 3 years, ever since he saw me do a PetsApp webinar on pet health plans. We've collaborated for all that time. And what we're going to do tonight is share with you the journey we've been on over the last 3 years, helping launch the health plan for Thrums and evolve it over the time. And just one final key thing for me is that Practice Made Purrfect, we are independent and we're whole of market. So we are not paid to refer something, to use a particular bit of software. If we use a piece of software, a piece of kit, we believe it is genuinely the best tool for the job. And from having used lots and lots of tools, we absolutely love PetsApp, and that has helped us get close to our customers at Thrums. So we'll take you on that journey as well. So over to you, hand you over to Gav.
Cool. I'm Gavin Durston. My main job is I'm a director at Thrums Vets. So Thrums Vets is a very traditional mixed practice in the northeast of Scotland. When I started 30 years ago, we had 6 vets, and it was mainly large animals, and the small animals were just a bit on the side. And now we've grown to having about 17, 18 full-time equivalent small animal vets. And we feel that we're a major part of the community. So this is the centre of Kirriemuir, and the statue behind me is Peter Pan. So this is where Peter Pan was written by J.M. Barrie, and it's a big part of our community. And we think a really important thing for any practice is to be embedded in the community, and yeah, we feel that's a big benefit for us. The other part of my job, my hat I wear, is I'm a director at XLVets. So XLVets is a community of independent practices, large animal, small animal, equine, and we work together, we collaborate, we share ideas, we commiserate about the things that don't go so well. And we feel that working together gives us an awful lot of benefits, socially and financially, and community-based stuff is a big part of our practice.
Just to pick up on something you said there, so Kirriemuir is a home of Peter Pan. I feel we've missed a trick not calling it the Peter Pan plan.
Oh, that's a good one.
Forever. So maybe that'll be a new iteration of the plan because we want to extend the pets' lives.
So we never used to have a plan, and then about 5, 7, 8 years ago, we launched just a very traditional small animal health plan. So it was parasiticides and vaccines and a bit of discount. And it did take 2 or 3 years for us to understand the real benefit of it. Originally, we thought it was just to get more parasiticides out there. But we kind of started to realise that if we had clients who bought into our plans, then they were more bought into their practice. And so we had a couple of iterations. And in 2020, we launched our Practice Plan Extra, which was included free consults. So we're on the first second in Scotland to do that. And that's really grown and developed. And now we've got more than half of our clients on who don't pay for any consultations at all. During the start of COVID, we adopted PetsApp to try and help us to get our message out there. And again, at the start, we didn't really understand the full benefits of PetsApp. We hired Justin and he helped us get all our ducks in a row. So he helped get our website organised and our messaging right. And we rebranded the practice and the website. And then last year, we went all in with PetsApp with reminders and online booking. And since then, we've really seen a big increase in the connectivity with our clients. So they really get every single message that they get from us includes our practice plan. And we feel that consistency of approach has made a big difference. We also added VidiVet into our plan. So generally speaking, only people on plan get access to VidiVet, and that gives a kind of a triage service, which clients really seem to enjoy. And then our latest iteration is in this summertime, we launched Practice Plan membership. So it's a bit different from the traditional plans, which got parasiticide and vaccines. This is just for consultations. So it's £14 a month and clients can come and see us as often as they want. And we feel that really reduces the barrier to clients come to see us. So we see pets a little bit earlier, so we can treat them before problems become too big. So we'll have better success rates, clients save a bit of money. So I think every stakeholder benefits from this. As you can see from that graph here, not everything works. So we try some things, and if it doesn't work, we reiterate it until it does, and then we try something new. So the general trend is onwards and upwards. And yeah, it's actually quite good fun. You try something, doesn't work, it's not a disaster, and we improve on it and it gets better.
And just to add with the membership plan, so it includes, it's unlimited daytime consultations and an annual vaccination, isn't it? Is that right?
No, there's no vaccine in the membership.
No vaccine in there.
Just consults. Yeah.
And one of the reasons for experimenting with it is for so many years we've been trained that we should be using monthly flea and worm treatment and protection, and plans grew up being based on dispensing 12 months of flea and worm treatment. There's a definite shift now in terms of advice and guidance being picked up by vets in practice that this perhaps isn't the best way to go, and as such it makes it difficult for team members to recommend a health plan which is centered around 12 months of flea and worm protection. And so this kind of led us down the route for the membership plan as well, didn't it? To include consults and exclude parasiticides as an experiment to see which works and which resonates most with our team.
And it gives us a bit of flexibility going forward as well. So if there is a major shift in advice, then we're not going to have to completely revamp the whole of our plans. We can just kind of gradually shift onto our membership. But we're talking about plans, but I think the most important thing is having the team on board. So culture eats strategy for breakfast, and having a content team is probably about 50% of the management stuff that we do. These three are, characters, and they take a little bit of management, but yeah, you can see it from smiles on their face that's a major thing. So unless you've got the team on board, a plan's not going to be successful. So I think that's a really important thing. Another cornerstone of having a good plan is it's got to be good clinical practice. So this doesn't replace being good at being a vet. This is an extra addition. So having a team on board and having good clinical practice is the cornerstones of what we do, and a membership plan or a health plan on top is the icing on the cake. So we need to have the team on board. So we spend a lot of time just giving the team the words and the messages to give to clients that the plan's the best way to access our services. So it saves them some money. It gets pets in a little bit quicker. So for example, if the dog's got a lump and the owner's worried, we can see that lump when it's a small one and we can get that removed if that's appropriate. So we'll get better clinical outcomes and happier clients.
So on that side, Gavin, we were talking about it the other day that actually, because you've removed the barriers to care, people are able to come in sooner at first sign of being worried. You're actually the lumps and bumps you're taking off have decreased, haven't they? They've gone from so big to so big, and so that is better for everyone. It's better for recovery for pet, better for the team, and better for workload and so on. So that was it's a real win in terms of anecdote. And the other one, we were looking at some of the KPIs you've got in the business, and one was admits on the day. And they'd really dropped off quite dramatically, had admits on the day. And we were scratching our heads as to why this could be. And then actually, because we were able to collaborate with a few other practices, chat to other practices who were running health plans that included unlimited consults, what it turned out, there was a drop off in admits on the day for all practices that had unlimited consults. And we start to realize that's because once the owner's worried, then rather than waiting 5 days before coming in, they're dragging the dog in and it's off its legs. Actually, they're coming in sooner. You're able to make smaller interventions quicker, recommend appropriate course of treatment, and it saves that pet having to be hospitalized and put in a drip, which is bad for everybody because it throws a day out of kilter. It takes one of your team members off whatever tasks they're supposed to be doing and puts them on kind of critical care in the back. So that was an interesting feature and development we came across there. Just two other things on this slide. So we are big believers that collaboration is what happens at the top of the market, and competition, it was what happens at the bottom of the market. So if you guys watching this today, you hear or see something you like, get in touch with myself or Gavin to chat through it, and we'd love to share those ideas and evolve whatever ideas you have with you to help everyone benefit on there. And I guess the other piece on here, so the mindset piece, is rather than being frustrated about what we can't do because of the limitations of the practice management system, which holds all our data, or whether it integrates with something or not. Actually, what we do is we think about, we have an open mindset and we think, what can we do now with the technology and the data we have available? So whenever one of our suppliers introduces a new update, we read the release notes, whether that's with RoboVet, whether that's PetsApp, and we have a look at what they've developed, and then we set about making the most of implementing what we are able to do of that piece of technology in our practice right now. So we'll talk about this later, but when PetsApp brought out reminders, it's like, right, this is it. How do we make this work in our practice to pull the levers to drive footfall, and same as we're doing with PetsApp's CRM system and so on. So it's we look at what's possible rather than bemoaning what isn't and getting caught up on that.
So for a membership plan, any health plan, I think there's probably three pillars to it. So the first pillar for any plan is getting people on it. So we need to attract customers. Can't attract customers to the plan, then it's never going to work. So we've done a lot of work getting all our ducks in a row to make sure that clients know about our plan. So every single bit of marketing, every single reminder, everything we can think of mentions the plan, and we give them a clear call of action how to join the plan. We reckon it takes about 7 nudges to influence someone's opinion. So if we just mention it once at a booster, then that's probably not going to work. So from day one, where a client's thinking about getting a pet, then all our marketing mentions the plan, so it becomes the natural thing for them to consider. And certainly the past few years, we've had, I think, was it Justin, we've done 55 months in a row where a plan's grown. We've never had a month where it's actually dropped off. So we think we're doing an okay job. We could do better, and Justin could work a little bit harder. I definitely think that. But yeah, we do a good job at attracting customers. And Justin will maybe explain what he does to help us do that.
Excellent. And just before I go on to the next slide, I think there's 3 ways you can grow your health plan. And firstly, you can put through a price increase on the on your standard monthly plan and increase it from £16 to £17 is one way of growing your health plan. And in times of inflation running at 10%, as we've been, if you weren't doing at least 10% increase each year, you were falling behind and losing margin on that. The second way you can grow your health plan is to increase the percentage of the number of pets in your practice who are on the health plan. So increase that percentage penetration of health plans amongst your active client base. And then the third way you grow your health plan is rather than just having a regular health plan, discounted treatment plan with vaccines and flea and worm in there, you introduce a more valuable bundle of products and services. And so that's where we went down the route of unlimited consults, and amongst other things. And so rather than just having a plan at £15 a month, which is lowballing a great number of your bonded clients that want to join a higher value plan, instead you offer them a plan which is more in keeping with the way your practice wants to deliver veterinary care. So you offer them a higher value plan. So they move on to buying that, and by those three levers, that's how you grow a health plan. You grow the revenue that comes in.
It's a bit like what Apple do. Apple have they've had their iPhone for many, many years, and very rare that they have a price rise on the same iPhone. They always introduce a new iPhone, which in reality is probably not an awful lot different from the one before that. And us introducing a standard plan and then an extra plan and then a membership plan is the way we can change the prices and change the bundle to allow different clients to choose however they want to access their services. So we like to think we're very innovative, but we just steal other people's ideas. So we collaborate, is the right word, not steal, with the likes of Apple and what other companies are doing. And it's not, I think it's really important to look outside the vet market because there's lots of cool stuff being done that if we just stayed in our own little goldfish bowl, we'd never be aware of.
So when Gavin alluded to, so this is this graphic kind of represents the client journey from searching for a pet and researching what sort of pet would suit their lifestyle, would suit their family, would suit their job working from home or in the office and so on. And where they look for that, then once they've got a pet, they then start to search for a nice vet near them, and just looking at all the different areas online, offline that people would go for during their pet research knowledge building, right up to phoning a practice to sound you out to see if they're going to trust you to care for their family member. And all the way through that client journey. And so essentially we look at every step in the client journey and then we think, right, how can we make that better? How can we reduce the friction of finding that piece of information, of research, getting to know that Thrums are the nice vets. I trust them with my pet, and to come in and bring them in. And so it's all about every single step in the client journey. We improve them to reduce friction. Wherever possible, we weave in the pet health plan or practice plan and educate the client that they would be better off interacting with us as a member of our health plan rather than as a pay-as-you-go and paying the full price. And the only other thing to add to this is we put a big emphasis on what I would call evergreen marketing. So we do things that don't date. So for example, that means if we've got cat-friendly clinic status or investors in the environment or whatever, we take the date off. We do a really good job of writing about it and telling that story in a way that doesn't date. So that means of these 500 points in the client journey, we can do a good job of each of them, and none of them are going to age and date. So if someone comes to them in 5 years' time and we haven't had time to revisit it, it's still relevant and working and doing its job. To that end, so we took the Thrums website, looks very, very typical of a vet's practice website. It's got stock photography on there. There's no compelling reason. The calls to action, so the things we want people to buy, aren't as prominent as we would like. And part of the journey was overhauling the Thrums website. And you can go and have a look on their website now or after this, have a good look around. and it's still very much like the Forth Road Bridge, which is we are always going back and revisiting it and looking at how we can make it work. We've been making changes today, 3 years after we launched it. So it's constant. And if you want to read more about our thinking, go onto the Practice Made Perfect website. There's lots of blogs that talk about our approach to building websites, and so on. In terms of other things we've done to drive people into the practice is making sure practice has curb appeal. So at the top, you've got the before picture of the practice in Forfar, great big building, very traditional sign, taking up only part of the building. It's not illuminated at night. And we just looked at that and thought we want to emphasize the full size of the building to get across. This whole premises is dedicated to caring for pets, high level care. It's illuminated at night, so if you drive past it, if you fly over it, you could likely land a plane on it. It's that illuminated. And as you walk in the door, you're pre-primed with several messages about the practice plan and why it's beneficial and how it can help you as a client. So some examples, and as we go, we're cycling through all the Thrums sites, updating the signage, revamping it with the same ethos.
So the first pillar, as I said, is attracting customers to the plan. The second one is keeping customers. So if we have a customer who joins 1 month and then leaves the next month, it's not beneficial for anyone. So that's why we spend, excuse me, so much time and effort reminding customers how beneficial the plan is. So when we have someone who books an appointment, they get an appointment reminder saying that, remember, if you're on plan, you don't have to pay for a consultation. If there's any medication that gets picked up, the medicine bags have got a reminder saying you don't have to be paying full price, you can get a discount if you're on plan. So every single message that we put out has a reminder how good the plan is. So when we first started doing this, it was about March, April last year, and just with the cost of living, we could see the number of people signing up in a plan was just dropping a little bit, and the number of people cancelling was creeping up. The lines never met, but it was getting closer and closer. And then we spent a month sorting out our reminders through PetsApp. So it's dead flexible, so we could go in and we could set up reminders very, very quickly and very easily. And the month after we got the reminders sorted out, our sign-ups increased 40% and the number of cancellations dropped by 50%. And the only difference was that we're just reminding clients how good the plan was. So we've got a forever promise. I think that's quite an important thing. So our forever promise is never pay to see the vet again. And so basically we're wanting free consultations because we feel that clients who come, as I said before, come in sooner, get better treatment. The animals get better treatment, quicker treatment, more successful treatment. And I think that's the type of client who appreciates that, are the type of clients that we would like to attract. The plan's not for everyone, and I fully appreciate that, but it suits us and we suit them. I think that's an important thing. Previous to PetsApp, we had a different reminder system, and the reason we changed was because it took about 15 emails to change that one reminder. Because I think traditionally, you think once the reminders are set up, that's it, done and dusted. But there's so many nuances and so many different messages that we can send out at appropriate times. And again, as I said, every single message has the plan wrapped around it, and clients do tend to appreciate it. We also take a measure of clients who don't sign or who kind of cancel the plan. So every month I look at the ones that have cancelled, and I think there's okay reasons why people cancel, and that might be because of euthanasia, because they've moved away, and I can accept them. The ones who just cancel and don't tell us, or the one that makes my heart bleed is the one that sees membership not used. And I think that's a sign that if we're getting an increase in that, we need to look again at reminders and we revamp them. So since we started measuring that, our percentage of bad cancellations has dropped to a very, very small number.
Just to jump on a point you said there, Gavin, about setting up reminders, and it used to take 15 emails back and forth, 30 emails back and forth to get it right. And now we use PetsApp for all our reminders, and it means that we can have a conversation in the morning, and one of us jumps on and does the first draft of it, and the other one of us jumps on, proofreads it, checks it, tweaks it, and it's out. It's going out by lunchtime. It's up and running. And it kind of reinforced, Gavin and I were speaking to someone and chatting about technology, and someone said, "Am I right? Reminder system's great. I set it up 6 years ago, and I've never had to touch it since." And that was just gave us both the fear, didn't it? Because the reminder system is the lifeblood of driving footfall back into practice, of helping owners be better pet parents, of making sure pets get everything they're entitled to. And the thought that you could have set it up right 6 years ago and nothing could have evolved or got better in that intervening time is just so far from reality. Actually, you can constantly refine, innovate, add to those reminders to make them more effective.
And we did that this year. So we had all the reminders. We thought, okay, we're great, we're perfect, it's brilliant. And then we started using a bit of behavioural science to change the reminders. So there's so much science out there about how people think and sort of choice architecture, how we set up the process of encouraging someone to take the right action. So we did that bit of that ourselves. And one of the most dramatic things, this wasn't reminders, but it was on our website. So we used to, on our website, we used to have the price of our plans at the top, and then the value, all the things including the plan below that. And I've listened to a podcast, read a blog, and thought, should maybe switch that around. So we changed it so that the price was at the bottom and the value was at the top. And then that month, the number of online sign-ups for our plans went from about 18% up to over 30%. So just that one change of where we had the price made such a difference, and that was a real eye opener. Because I thought, some of that stuff, it's a bit esoteric. It just can't be that true. But when like Hicks from the Sticks, us can do that one wee change, and it changes people's behaviour, is pretty dramatic. So we went through all our messages and we tweaked it as best we can. And we thought, again, we're good. And then we've got Becky Mears from Inside Minds, who does a lot of behavioural science work. So we've got her to revamp all our digital assets, so reminders on our website. And again, we can see that uptick in people signing up on the plan, and the cancellations kind of being fairly low, which is quite good. And then that last bit of behavioural science thing would change something just last month on our website. So on our website, I think it's important that we're kind of fairly transparent about our prices. So we've got our price page, and we've got the list of all the benefits of the plan, and then we've got our kind of standard prices. So on our standard prices, we used to have normal price at the top of that list. And then we thought, oh, let's change it. So no one likes to pay full price. So we'll just change it to full price, pay as you go. And again, the number of online sign-ups have jumped another 10% just by having that one little bit of change, which I think is just amazing. I was at London Vet Show last week, and there's so many stands selling better scanners and more powerful X-ray machines and sharper needles and stronger tablets, but there's so little chat about this behavioural science, about how people think and how we can structure conversations and choice architecture. And I think that's the thing that's going to change our industry an awful lot. So yeah, I'll come to something else later on.
Excellent. And so Thrums are a practice group for practices over probably a 50-mile radius of Scotland, and so multiple sites with distance between them. 70 people, team members employed. They are trusted to care for thousands of pets, over tens of thousands of interactions. So it's a lot of people, conversations and interactions happening, and trying to change behavior of all those people over all those interactions can be exhausting and can be a never-ending task. And I guess what we've found is if we design systems which create certain behaviors, that's a really effective way of influencing how those 70 team members interact in consults, what they recommend, how they speak, and how our clients interact with us. So we focus on engineering systems, so whether that's building really high-performing reminders reminder systems, whether that's optimizing a website to nudge people to communicate with us in ways we want to communicate with them. We've recently added to the website pre-op consent forms, haven't we? And so people pre-op, anyone booked in for an op gets a PetsApp nudge the day before, inviting them to fill out the pre-op consent form. They fill it out online, and when they come into the practice, all that paperwork's already done. And because they're filling it out online, we can shape the questions and we have more control over that process rather than relying on training 70 people to be at their best every single day. So that idea of being consistent and repetitive, and we talked earlier about weaving the health plan message into every single message, so it's always repetitive. Don't
pay to see the vet. Never pay to see the vet again, or forever promise.
Perfect. Right, and just to give you a bit of an overview of our PetsApp journey, so the practice adopted PetsApp in way back in 2020, and at that point was using it for online payments, discharge, notes, and client communication, part of the pandemic practices. But actually, the product has evolved so much since then, and has given us so much more opportunity. As soon as it was able to talk to RoboVet to do online booking, we went all in on online booking, and that's embedded into the website. And every single reminder that goes out has a prompt button optimized there to included in it to tap to book their next appointment to enable a client to do their life laundry at whatever time of day they read it. At the same time, March 23, again, that integration with RoboVet was key. Before that, we were doing things via Rapport. So reminders came on board, and then we set about setting them up. And I think at the moment we probably have 100 different reminders going automated for all kinds of different things. We've at one point, PetsApp, again, it's all about reading release notes, used to have a generic image at the top, a PetsApp branded one. Actually, we were very conscious we wanted this app to feel like Thrums. And so as soon as we discovered you could create your own images, we did, and we've rolled out our images there, so it makes the app feel more like Thrums to increase that bond. We've written all this wording, and at the bottom of every single button is a call to action button to do the thing we want you to do, whether that's download VidiVet as part of your health plan, whether that's book an appointment, whether that's a welcome letter, find out more. And 6 months after that, nudges became available. And so we always I've wanted to do it for a decade, that in the consult room, the vet makes a recommendation. Your pet needs a dental, or your pet has early signs of kidney disease. And historically, what happens is they go searching through the drawers for a leaflet that explains that, whether that's from SIVA or whoever. If they're lucky, they find a leaflet which gets stuffed into the client's pocket, never to be read again. More likely than not, there's no stock of, there's never a stethoscope in the consult room, let alone a leaflet. So it doesn't happen. So what we've been able to do, set up a load of admin codes on RoboVet. You put the code on for advised dental, and that triggers a nudge that goes that night that the client can read at home in their own space, share with their significant other to talk about Poppy Gabriella's dental, and as well as going that night, we also do a follow-up, don't we? 3 months after that, or a period of time after that. So it's another automated nudge, so it always happens. And again, all about reading release notes. We've got the CRM system is coming, it's evolving, it's developing. And we're experimenting with it. We're feeding back to PetsApp what's good, what's not yet so good. And we can't wait to get our mitts on it, can we, to just start sending all these different we've got all these different ideas. We can't wait to give them a go using this piece of technology. I think I saw a question come in, but I can't see it on my screen. I don't know if anyone else can.
I think I was just saying you're talking too much. We're halfway through.
Right.
But maybe I'm talking too much.
Well said. What have we got here? We use social proof a heck of a lot. So exceptional client care is the best form of marketing. So doing a great job in making your clients evangelical about your service, so they go and when they meet their next friend, and the friend goes, "What are Thrums like?" They go, "Yeah, they're nice. Gav's nice." And so exceptional client care, and we facilitate that through recommend a friend incentives when clients come into the practice, and we proudly display our Google reviews throughout the or front right and center on the TVs in reception on the website.
Yeah, so the third pillar of a membership, any of the membership plans, after attracting customers and keeping there, they will start to leave at some point. And as I said before, we analyse why people leave as much as we possibly can. So if someone does leave, then our team will quite happily give them a call and find out why they're leaving and see if they can rescue this situation. We never offer incentives to get them back on. We feel that we're already give good value, so giving them, I know, 10% off the plan or something, we don't feel that's an appropriate thing to do. But we do find out why they leave. And we're just going to be starting a new thing. So again, stolen, so borrowed from outside the vet profession. Adobe, the big tech company, they used to, which they've got, it's a subscription business that they have. So when someone cancelled, they used to say, "What's how could we improve?" And that was the question they asked their customers, and they managed to recover about 10%, very roughly about 10% of their subscriptions came back on once the clients once the team had a discussion with the client. But when they changed the question to, instead of saying why did or what's how could we improve, they changed it to say, "Why did you join in the first place?" That change the mindset from the client made them go back and think, what were the good things about the plan when we signed up? And they doubled the number of rescues that they get now. So they've gone from about 10% up to about 20%. So we feel that's probably quite a good thing to try. So we don't have any data yet, but over the next 2 or 3 months, we should hopefully see the number of people who cancel and then sign back up with us. That should grow. And even if that just grows by 1 or 2 a month, if we compound that over a couple of years, then that's worth an awful lot to us. So rescuing these cancellations is or one, measuring the cancellations is important, and two, understanding how we can rescue them and get people back on plan, because that's the best way to access our services. We feel that's really important. And then behavioural changes. I'm a big fan of this. As I said before, being able to understand how someone thinks and how someone makes decisions is really important. And that's why we do as much as we can and use science to have the right architecture for our plans and all our digital processes. There's, I think, your next slide, Justin, there's a guy called Rory Sutherland who's a prominent marketer and behaviour specialist. And his quote is, "It seems likely that the biggest progress in the next 50 years may come not from the improvement in technology, but in psychology and design thinking." And we reckon that if we've got an app like PetsApp, who are absolutely perfect at delivering our message, that's a really important part of the process. But we've got to make sure that the psychology and the design thinking and the process and the messages we give our clients, I think that combined with the tech is definitely going to stand us in good stead. And all these things might just add on 1 or 2%, but if you're doing 5 or 6 different things, all adding on 1 or 2% onto the business, then once you add all that together, we're up to 10, 15, 20% without anyone having to work any harder. And it's all evergreen stuff. And we think the data so far shows that it works. So as I said, PetsApp helps deliver that message. Becky and Inside Minds helps us design the right message. And then we've got the team at the practice who deliver that great service. I think they're the 3 things which will help the business thrive in the months and years to come. And Justin does a little bit as well. I'm not
Because what I'm hearing for that is that anyone watching and listening to this, whether live or on catch up, wanting a great leap in practice performance, practice profitability, if they went to London Vet Show and have spent £100,000 on a new laser or a new piece of diagnostic kit, actually they need to return that piece of kit immediately, don't they? Well, in a 14-day cooling off period, and they need to divert that into the marketing and communications budget because that's where the opportunity is to get close to the clients and um, create moments of magic.
That's a classic vet thing, isn't it? Oh, nice shiny bit of kit. Oh, that's great. It's fantastic. Let's do this. And then it comes in and you use it for a week or two and you think, oh, I'm not sure how this works. And it goes in a corner and gathers dust. It's a bit like my treadmill. I thought it'd be a great idea to get my treadmill. And then if I don't go on it, it doesn't actually do any good and becomes a clothes horse. So, but yeah, it's the psychology and just getting on and doing the thing that's the important thing.
So we took the idea, or key part of behavioral science is if lots of people say the wisdom of the crowd. If lots of people say something's good, it probably is, and we're very risk averse and a loss of a. So we don't want a bad experience. So we trust in the wisdom of the crowd, even though we don't know all those people. We believe if they chose it, then if I go there, I'll have a good experience as well. And so we thought we've got all these people on our practice plan. Wouldn't it be great if we could tell all our clients that, look, this is something that's trusted by lots and lots of people. And then we investigated with the company that collect the direct debits on our behalf and maintain that. And could we get a live data feed via an API to project the number of subscribers on our health plan onto our website, our TV screens? And the answer was no, that integration wasn't possible. And so we sat there and thought, oh, it's a really good idea. What a shame we can't do it. Maybe we'll do it in 6 months' time. And then we kind of came to the conclusion, flipping heck, this is too good an idea to let it slide because some developer somewhere can't yet facilitate it. And so we thought, well, how else could we do it? And so we now do it. We set it up manually. So this number here displays on the TV screens in reception, and it displays on our website. And when you look at it on the TV screens on the website, it's an animated number, so it rolls up from 3,100 and it rolls up like a totalizer up to 3,946. Gavin and I are nerdily excited for it to tip over to 4,000. That feels like a landmark of the health plan. And we put this we put this number into every single reminder we send out. So Poppy Gabriella is due her vaccination on this date. Plan members get this included. Be like the 3,946 people that other pets that don't pay for their vaccinations. And we go in there once a month and update that number to that social proof because it was too much of it was something we wanted to do too much. It was too much of an important idea to just shrug our shoulders and go, oh, we'll do it when the tech lets us do it. So we found a way. And yes, it's manual, but it gets it done and it gets it benefiting from us. And we get that feeling of success from seeing an idea somewhere and deploying it and the buzz. And then it builds on from there. So that number is on our social media. It's on PetsApp nudges, as I said, TV screens, website, everywhere we can think of, we weave it in. And every piece of communication we put out, as I said earlier, is evergreen. So no dates on it, nothing dates, apart from that practice plan number, which we think is important. And we lead it back to the practice plan. So when you go to book an appointment on the website, it's the website, the online booking widget is cocooned with messages around practice plan members get their consultations free. On the right-hand side here, you can see one of the nudges that goes out. There is no need to pay full price if you're not already on the plan. Again, making it seem abnormal to not be on the plan already. Chat to us and find out. So it's constant drip, drip, drip. This is something put together, and so we could measure so I'm a big believer in websites and marketing and all this stuff requires a lot of resource, whether that's time and shoe leather, be it your time as the owner or someone working in the business, or external cost, whether it's printing things or developing a website. So all these things require resource. And it's really difficult to divert resource to something if you can't prove the return on investment from that. So with the website, we want to know, right? We want to know how much money a website makes us. And when we talk about vet practice websites, and you'll see on those blogs on the Practice Made Perfect website, the ways a website can make money is through someone booking an appointment. As a direct value to us is phoning us to book an appointment. Some people want to interact with us differently. Is joining the health plan. Join the health plan at £30 a month. That is worth £300 a year plus VAT to us as a business. Sending their CV is worth money. So there's all these kind of calls to action that people can do on the website that make us money. So we built this dashboard, which means Gav can look. I don't know, you check this multiple times a month, don't you, Gav?
That's probably multiple times a day. I'm actually probably twice a day. I have a quick wee look. If it's quite 5 minutes, I'll have a wee look and see how it's changed. But it's really good. I'm with a mixed practice, and some of our large animal directors are probably slightly more cynical about the market and snake oil. But I can sort of show them this and say, look, we've grown our the work coming through the website. We've grown at 30, 40, 50, 60%. And that keeps them quiet for another month. They will crawl away and shush until they see the counts and think we better try to have a go at Gavin again. But yeah, I think as Justin says, we've got to justify what we're doing, and this certainly helps do that.
I don't know if I told you this, Gav, but I first built this dashboard 10 years ago when I was at White Cross Vets. And this was my way of, I wanted to earn more money. And I wanted to have more resource to throw at my marketing. I wanted a bigger marketing budget to do more stuff. And so I kind of came to the conclusion, well, if I want to be paid more and I want a bigger marketing budget, I need to show my boss how much money I'm making him. And so that stemmed this thinking of, right, how much money does this website make the business? And so every month I got to do a report to the board, and that was just an update to show them how much money I'd made them and what a great decision they'd made in terms of employing me and to get me more wherewithal to do more stuff, right? So this looks very similar to something I did in 2014, but with some cool evolutions over time. And when Gavin and I first did a presentation that included this, we took a snapshot of it. We can change the settings at any time. But in Feb 24, we had 3,200 visitors in the last 30 days coming to the website. When we've updated it for this presentation, we are getting more visitors to the website, so 3,800 visitors to the website every single month. Conversions, so people coming to the website and doing something which makes us money or Gav money. 491 people did it in that 30-day period in February. In the last 30 days, 608 people have gone to the website and done stuff. I can see questions coming in. I'm sorry, I can't see them. So in a minute, we'll get to them. So hang around, don't go anywhere. Conversion value. So we give everything a nominal value based on the best information. And so we can see what it was making him, and we can now report back to Gav that his website is making him £21,000 a month. And that makes those conversations with Gav's fellow directors much, much easier to open doors and have conversations, and it gives us the freedom and license to experiment.
Yeah, to be fair, if I was the shoe was another foot, I'd be asking the same questions about other directors. Like, is this investment worthwhile? And so yeah, I'm just as picky as the other guys, but yeah, I'm quite pleased that it doesn't work.
Never in doubt. So just on this, we're always looking to innovate. We're really enjoying our journey. Our to-do list is bigger now than it was 3 years ago because we keep getting ideas and we're like, oh, and there's a nice feeling from seeing. It feels nice seeing an idea somewhere and then implementing it, getting it done. And so you can take an idea from what if to in practice actually happening. You get that feeling of winning and success. And we've been bolting some new stuff on here onto the website just today for how to onboard EMS placement students. Idea, how do we make it better, get it done? And that's a great feeling of winning. And in terms of the tech stack around us, having PetsApp, it integrates with our practice management system, puts us in control of that so we can have an idea when we get it done. And that's really motivating. Both it feeds the inner geeks in us, but it's also great for the business, smoothing out efficiencies and making more money for the business.
This is our latest thing. So when we found out about this is poor Justin was just about crying. So we spent all this time and effort improving our website, and we thought it's perfect, it's bloody damn good. And then we discovered Microsoft Clarity. So this is a program which records how people access our website. So what you're seeing here is a couple of people scrolling through the website, what they're looking at, the wee orange dots are what they're clicking on. And it was just like a light bulb moment. So poor Justin thought, this is a disaster. It's showing all the little links that don't work and the bits that clients just don't quite understand. And I thought, oh, this is fantastic. It's just like this complete unknown. We didn't realize that this part of the website didn't quite hit the nail on the head. So now we've got all that quantitative data from beforehand from the Looker Studio, the dashboard, and now we've got this qualitative data, so we can kind of sit and watch how people are accessing the website, what they're clicking on, what works, what doesn't. And we can actually see there's probably around about 20% of the website people look at on a regular basis and scroll through, and 80% of it is used hardly any at all. So we know the pages that we need to have really slick and really efficient. There's also a thing called rage click. So if you see someone clicking on a bit 6 times in a row, it comes up in a rage click, and we realise that actually that bit of the website's not working. So we can go back and refine it, and we can improve it all the time, which is, I think, it's quite good fun.
And on that note, that brings us to the end of our presentation. So we hope you've enjoyed it as much as we've enjoyed kind of sharing this back with you. As I said earlier, we believe in collaboration, and that's what brings us energy and ideas and so on. So if you've seen anything here which floats your boat, please drop Gavin or I a message, chat through it. It would feel good to know that it inspired you. And also, it gives us the opportunity to swap ideas and make it even better, and help one another. So please do get in touch. You can get via LinkedIn, via email, however, semaphore, whatever you want to do. Please get in touch.
So we do have a question here. Do you monitor the sign-up rates of team versus PetsApp nudges the website? Yeah, so we measure, so we know people who sign up and plan, so we can do, we know who signs up in practice, so we can measure that, and we can also know who signs up online. So we'll get that from our provider. So when we first started doing this, it's probably about 10% were online sign-ups. And then about a year, summertime, springtime this year, we were probably about 18% online sign-ups. And now, I think this month, last time I looked, we're sitting about 34% are online sign-ups. So we do measure that. And again, all the work we do digitally, you can see that online sign-up number creep up and up and up.
And one of to give the game away, when I often start talking to a practice, have a look over the website, and still, even now in 2024, they don't have a button to join the health plan online. You have to download a PDF of a direct debit form. You have to find a printer. You have to find a pen at work. You have to write it on it. You include all your bank details, which is a massive breach of financial data security. Then you have to drive to the practice, you have to queue, and you have to hand it over to reception. And that's the only way to join, to become a member of the plan. Just phenomenally difficult. So actually, part of it is enabling online sign up on your website and having gigantic unmissable buttons on every page to make it really easy for someone to join the plan.
Thank you so much, Justin and Gavin, for that. And you've already answered one of the questions that we've had through. I also wanted to ask, well, I have a question, but before I ask my question, I wanted to throw a question back at our delegates, our audience, because we know that it's about 50-50% split of people who are attending this webinar of guys who are offering unlimited consults. versus those who aren't. So I just wanted to ask whoever's listening if you can pop into a chat for those people who are offering unlimited consults. What changes have you found that offering the service has given you? Right? What were the positives, right, that you got from this? And on the other hand, for those who aren't offering it, why is that? What reservations do you have against offering unlimited consults? I think we'd be quite keen to hear, and perhaps that would stimulate some discussion with Gavin and Justin. Actually, maybe they can help assist um, with that. So. The question I wanted to ask actually was something you mentioned, Gavin, during the presentation. You said you're not afraid that something might not per se work out, and you'll just find another way. And that really resonates with me, because I think failure is just one step forward, right? And it's just a mismatch of expectations. So as long as we expect that it might not all work out first time, 100%, then it's okay. It doesn't mean we shouldn't test and try, as long as we manage the risk. But so we've described a lot of what has worked really, really well. So I wanted to ask, what were some of those kind of failures or hiccups or barriers that you've come across that you were like, oh, we tried this, it didn't work, but actually this worked? And well, maybe a question for both, really.
We did, I suppose, a couple of things. I read a book from the chief strategy analysis guy from Google, who suggested we should be asking people all the good stuff about the practice rather than how we could improve. So, in our welcome message, we had a little quiz. The quiz was, how many surgeries does the practice have? And then the main part for us was, why did you join the practice? What are the good things about the practice? And that went out to, I don't know, that's gone out to a few hundred people. And I think last year we had 6 replies to that. And they're all very nice. They're lovely. One of the best ever reviews I've ever seen. I was so pleased with it. But we put a bit of work, spent several weeks getting that organised, and 6 replies isn't brilliant. But do you know what? We learned something, got a nice review. Another thing, a bit of some of our marketing we do with A/B testing. So we stuck some adverts out this was on Facebook, and this is quite sad, this story actually. We did one picture, I can't remember what the campaign was, but we did one picture with one
In
of
fairness, Gavin, I know where this is going. In fairness, you didn't instigate it, but you allowed us you allowed us carried away. But go on, carry on.
No, no, you tell the story better.
So yeah, I don't think so Gavin didn't instigate it, but it's got to be fun as well. You got to try lots of things. So A/B testing is you test advert creative one versus, and you make a change and you test advert creative number two. You run them both to an audience and you can see which performs better, which converts better. And then marketing logic is then you transfer all your budget to the creative that worked the best. That becomes your banker and you try and beat that again. And so we had our 2 creatives about join the health plan, and the text was the same, but we experimented with the images we used on there. So on image 1, we used one of the vet team smiling at the camera, and on image 2 we used Gav. And Gav with your pet, and we ran this ad with the 2 going because why not? And you graciously let us do it, and we saw a surge in silver signups. And so you're very popular with a certain demographic there, Gav.
So, and Facebook is generally an older female demographic, and those ladies liked me. But mother was, I'm quite happy with that.
So whatever it takes to get the health plan going, whatever it takes. But you've got to have fun.
But I did mention that every single day for about 3 weeks when I went back into the office.
And so I've been thinking about how to make vet practice work better, be more profitable, increase marketing every day of my life since 2012. Just constantly mulling over how things could work better. Originally started working with the health plans with unlimited consults in 2015, I think it was, when it was a completely alien concept to me. It's drilled into us, vets should charge for their time, and all of a sudden there we are giving it away, and it completely jarred. and then it clicked, and then you see it and you feel it, and you really get the idea of it work. You see how it works, see the difference it works. So since in the last 4 years, as Practice Made Perfect, our team and I, we've launched 20 pet health plans. So a lot of it is tried and tested, and it gets better. And there's some experiments going on there. And where we try and experiment, we see what happens. Was it the Gav photo, or was it the other photo? And the things that work become our banker, and we do more of the stuff that works and less of the stuff that doesn't.
I love that when you said fun, because absolutely I keep saying that business should be fun. So there's, I don't know, people have different number of Fs for what business should be. For me, it's, flexible, it has to have futures, it has to be financially viable, and it has to be fun. So when you said that, I'm like, yep. Brilliant. I think we're kind of on time, or 2 minutes past time. I just want to let all of the attendees know that the slides will be shared after the session. And I think I just, as a wrap up, I'd love to thank both of you, Gavin and Justin, for the amazing insight, and everybody listening for joining in. And Gavin and Justin popped their I think the last slide had your email addresses on it. So if you want to reach out to them, please feel free to do so. As I said, all the slides and the recording of the session will be available if you request it. So please let PetsApp know. And I think all I can say is just a big thank you, and have a good evening.
At PetsApp, we help you reduce missed calls and save you time by making your client communications more efficient. But we can't achieve that unless we get you where your pet owners are. We do this by providing you with a listing on the PetsApp website, providing you a widget on your website, and by providing both web and app versions of PetsApp through which your clients can communicate with you. But clients don't even have to download the app with the PetsApp's two-way SMS text chat feature. But then we surface all of this in one convenient location for you and your team on the PetsApp dashboard and in the PetsApp Veterinary Team Member app. This makes it super efficient for you to respond to chat messages via the web, your website, the app, and SMS text in just one location. In the same location, you can collaborate with team members, use template messages, and template media library files. All of this combined will reduce your missed calls by 85% and save the average connect 3 hours every single day while delivering exemplary customer service.
There's no place I'd rather be.